Hi, I'm back with some more research quick tips, and I have a question for you. How are you telling the story of how you create change in the world? How do you tell the story? I tell you how a lot of people tell the story. A lot of people tell the story of how they create change in the world with testimonials. They ask people to share their positive experience with their program, service, product, insert whatever it is here. They ask for a testimonial. And I tell you what, I love receiving testimonials. They make me feel good. I love giving testimonials because I love to share with people how amazing I think they are and, give them some promotion. I think testimonials are great, but I don't think they're actually good data for talking about the change you create in the world. I don't think they're good data points to share for that. I don't think that they really give a ton of insight into whether or not your work is working. And honestly, when I'm trying to make a decision about something, gosh, if I saw like thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews, like talking about if I'm doing some shopping on Amazon, then I'd be like, okay, like this is pretty compelling evidence that something is working. But you know what would be much more compelling for me is when people submit those like before and after shots, like pictures, before and after pictures. I have a dog, Calyx, who I love dearly, and he has terrible allergies and he is like always just like really messing with his paws. And I was looking for like a natural balm for his paws, and I was on Amazon. I'm just like, come on, like there's got to be something great. And there's tons of things with a lot of like really high reviews, 4.5 stars and above. But what really sold me was when people submitted pictures of their little pup's paws and were like, this is what my paw looked like before using this balm, and here's what it looks like now. And I was like, boom, that tells the story of the change that organization is creating in the world. I can see it with my own eyes, and I'm like, wow, that stuff must work. Like the testimonials are great, but that picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But honestly, that to me is so much more convincing. And I think about this as applies to my business and to organizations who are fundraising or on grants or just want to prove whether or not they work, want to demonstrate whether or not they work. And a really great way to upgrade from testimonials is to start doing some pre, before, post, after data collection. And it could be something like pictures or videos, or it could be questions that you ask on a survey and or on a quiz or an assessment, and you can compare people's responses before, after. I think that that type of data is so much more compelling compared to testimonials. I'm not saying lose the testimonials. Testimonials are great, but I think of those as like bonus, exciting, nice stories. Like, I'm glad to hear that people love working with you and feel changed, but it's like, show me the data, show me what type of change did you create. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. So here are a few ideas, quick and easy options that you can add to onboarding, intake, something like first contact, and then also to like an exit, wrap up, follow up, whatever you want to call it, so that you can start showing how you create change in the world. Option number one, you can ask people to self-reflect. People knock on self-report data a lot, and I'm not one of those people. I think self-report data, especially when used in combination with other data points, is great and super interesting. Perhaps you want to ask people to reflect on their confidence in whatever it is that you're about to teach them and assign themselves a rating in that confidence. You can do that before and you can do it at the end, and you can see like, did their confidence in the specific thing that you are teaching or educating them about, did it change? That would be a great way to up-level your testimonials, up-level from testimonials, if you will. Or two, you could ask people to report how often they're doing a behavior that you believe they should be doing more of in order to be successful or in order to demonstrate that they know how to do something. So, for example, maybe you want to ask people Maybe one of your goals for people is that they wake up every morning and they say affirmations, and you ask people that because you believe that if they wake up and they say affirmations, they're going to have better days, they're going to feel less burnout, whatever the story of the change you're creating, whatever the key piece of that related to affirmations. You have like a belief that this is an important thing that people should do. So what you could do is when you start working with someone, you could say, hey, how many mornings a week do you do affirmations when you wake up? Ask them that. Get a baseline, right? The beginning, where are they starting? And then ask them again at the end when you're wrapping up. Okay, like we've spent some time together, time to check in. How many mornings a week are you doing affirmations? And then you can say like, look, when people started with me, they're only doing affirmations 1 day a week. And by the time they finish, they're doing affirmations 7 days a week. Maybe it's 5, right? Like whatever it is, but it's showing has the potential, this data has the potential to show growth. And that's really powerful. I love it when people get creative. This is like option 3. I'd say we call them like, I also call them like artifacts, but like, or like a demonstration, but it's basically like something you can like see or touch or hear that demonstrates the change. And I've seen some really cool things like this. In fact, like the best data point I believe I've ever seen in my life in support of a program I saw in India. It was back in like 2012, and there was an organization called Head Held High, and they had a video of one of their students who, before they started programming, was speaking in English, like giving a presentation in English, and they showed him after programming and seeing the like contrast between where this like young man was at before programming in terms of like his mastery of the English language, but also in terms of how he presented. Like he looked more relaxed, he was more confident. That was super compelling to me. And I was like, this is an incredible data point, right? Like this video showing me this picture of what this human was like before they interacted with you and after they interacted with you. Amazing data. You can do this. You could do it with video. You could do it with audio if you're working with speaking skills. You could have people literally like create something. Like maybe you're teaching a drawing class and you want someone to draw a tree right when they come in and work with you. You can tell I don't teach drawing because this may be a terrible example, but I think you'll get the gist. But you have them come in and they draw a tree, and then on the last day there's like a new drawing of a tree, and you'd be like, wow, do you see the differences here? And you, being the expert that you can point out like all the technical differences, all the little things that changed. Incredible way to demonstrate change. And I want to add this on here that you really can't talk about creating change if you don't capture where people are at when they first come to you. I think this is a really common mistake, is that people miss that like time point 1 data collection. Like they miss you on the way in, but at the end they remember like, oh, hey, we're about to wrap things up. Like get this person a feedback form. Tell me about your experience. Let's see where you're at now. And that's great. Great. It's great that you're getting information. However, if you don't know what this person was like when they first like came to you in terms of the skills or knowledge or talents, whatever it is, beliefs, mindsets, if you don't know what they were like when they first came to you, it's really difficult to make an argument that you were in any way part of the change to how they are now. And I want to give like a quick little example. This is an example I give a lot because I think it's easy to understand. Well, let me know. Maybe it's not easy to understand and I should revise. But let's say you are running an after-school math program and kids they come to your math program, and on the very last day you design this like super innovative, cool quiz to see how much they know about math. And you're like, wow, everyone got 100% on this math quiz. They are so great. I am an excellent math teacher. The problem is, I have no idea if those kids did any better on that math quiz that you gave them today than they would have done when they first started working with you a month ago, right? Maybe these kids are just all math geniuses, and while they've really enjoyed their super fun programming, they actually haven't changed in terms of their math ability. You don't know because you don't have that before snapshot. You gotta have 2 snapshots if you even want to start talking about change and impact. You just absolutely have to. And just to further add another wrinkle to this, because I really believe in being transparent, and I think having full information is better. Even if you capture that before and after, there are circles, let's say universities, for example, in which you would be wise not to call that impact. In universities, impact, or like causality, showing that like this happened because of this thing that we did, is really difficult to prove. It often involves a randomized control trial and still pre, post, before, after snapshot. And I've gotten slapped on the wrist for using language that seems a little bit too much, like I'm saying I caused something when I didn't cause something. So I'm just very sensitive to that. I think in colloquially, I have a hard time saying that word. In the world, how people tend to use the word impact is not that like rigorous scientific way, but I think it's something to be mindful of. Oftentimes people, it's just suggested that you soften your language. So I might say like was related to, like correlation. Correlation does not imply causation. Have you all heard that? It's like the fact that 2 things are related doesn't necessarily mean that one thing causes the other. So the fact that people went through programming and became more confident in speaking doesn't imply that the reason they became more confident in speaking is because they went through your programming. It's just something you would have to design to study around, and I don't think that means that you can't say that you cause change, or think that you cause change, or that there is compelling, convincing evidence that you have caused change, but I do think you should be mindful of the language around it. So I just thought I would offer that up. Whew. It was a lot. In summary, better than testimonials is demonstrating the change you create. And to do that, before picture, after picture. I hope this was helpful. If it was, subscribe. The button is here somewhere. I don't know how people do that. You can subscribe, or you can go to my website, kirstenleehill.com, and check out more resources. Thanks so much.